So are you also still generating press releases manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to build an AI agent to auto-generate Google Sheets press release. So over here, I also used to generate the press releases manually, but this is such a time-consuming task. So to save me some time, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the details of my press release into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the content, which is the press release. And further, I can add that same press release once again into my Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, and then Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So today I'll guide you through setting up an AI agent that automatically drafts press release inside Google Sheets. Based on the event or update details you input, the AI will instantly generate professional press releases, helping you save time and streamline your communication. So let's jump right in and simplify your PR efforts. So to get started, I'm simply going to enter the event name, then I'm simply going to enter the date, then I'm simply going to enter the achievements, the key points to highlight, and then I'm simply going to enter the spokesperson code. So over here you can see that I've successfully entered all of these details, and now using these details only, my AI agent is going to generate me the press release. And yes, over here you can see within seconds in real time this has been generated and added right over here, that too without any manual efforts. So yes, you can see this is the powerful automation which we are going to create in today's video, and further my team can review it and select the status as draft or finalized. So yes, this is the powerful automation which we are going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab and open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And in order to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect, I'm simply going to search for pabbly.com/connect in my browser. So I'm simply going to search for pabbly.com/connect and open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And after opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard, you can see there are multiple folders in which I can save my workflows. And if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. Alright, but I've created multiple folders, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these folders, which is automations. And now for the workflow name, I'm simply going to erase this untitled workflow and enter my workflow name, which is this: how to build an AI agent to auto-generate Google Sheets press releases. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And now with this, we have successfully created our workflow, it is saying. And with this over here, you can see we have successfully opened the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger. And that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to search for it right over here, which is Google Sheets, and select it right over here. And after selecting the trigger application for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use the same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL and then open my spreadsheet. And now from here we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. And over here we have to add an extension in the spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks and select it right over here. So over here you have to install and add this extension in your spreadsheet. And over here you're going to get the option of install if you haven't installed this extension yet. I have already installed this extension, so it is giving me the option of uninstall. Alright, so you simply have to install this extension right from here. And after installing this extension, you simply have to refresh your spreadsheet. But it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet. Otherwise, what is going to happen is you are not going to get the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. Alright, so now after getting this option, we have to simply go towards this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And after coming over here for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the webhook URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is E. Over here, the trigger column for me is E because this is my final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So over here, I selected my trigger column as E because this is my final data column. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. Alright, so over here what I want is that as soon as I add the event name, date, achievement, key points and spokesperson code, automatically the details should be sent towards my webhook URL. If you want to enter only 4 details, you can enter your trigger column as D. If you want the details to be 3, you can enter your trigger column as C, and so on. So the trigger column will be according to your spreadsheet only. And after entering this trigger column, we are simply going to click on this button which says submit. And yes, with this it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to open my spreadsheet, and now from here we have to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and then we have to switch on this button which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button, because upon switching on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur in the spreadsheet, automatically the details would be sent towards your webhook URL, and further Pabbly is going to trigger this workflow. Alright, so that's the particular reason that this button should always be switched on. And after switching on this button, we are going to do the test submission. Alright, so to do the test submission, I'm simply going to enter the event name, the date, the achievement news, and then the key point to highlight. And then further, I'm simply going to enter the spokesperson code right over here. And yes, with this, I've successfully entered all of these details. And now these details have been sent towards my webhook URL. And over here, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response of the same. You can see exactly the same details which we entered during our test submission has been captured right over here as our response. And with this, we have successfully completed this step, which was Google Sheets. And now what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur, or whenever I'm just going to add another row right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. Now we're going to move forward towards our action step. Now what I want is I want to build an AI agent to auto generate Google Sheet press releases. So for my action application, I'm simply going to select it as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm simply going to search for OpenAI and select it right over here. And now it is asking me for the action event. So I'm simply going to select my action event as ChatGPT and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this, select existing connection, and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to enter the token. And to get this token, it is saying to follow the help text. Kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. Alright, so I'm simply going to go towards this OpenAI API key page to get the API key which I want to enter here. And after coming over here towards my OpenAI API key page, we simply have to go towards this create new secret key. And now I'm just going to enter my key name right over here, which is press releases. And after entering this key name, I'm simply going to select the project and then click on this button which says create secret key. And with this, we have successfully created this secret key. So I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to open our workflow and paste this key right over here. And after pasting this key, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select my AI model as GPT-4 right over here. You can select it according to your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. Alright, so as you can see that I've successfully entered my prompt, which is write a professional press release based on the following details. So I'm simply going to enter my details right over here, but we're not going to enter the details manually by typing it like this, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger step only, and as soon as we're going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm simply going to map this event name right over here. I'm simply going to open the response of my spreadsheet, and over here I'm just going to map this event name. Then I'm just going to map the date. So I'm simply going to look for date and map it. We're going to move further. I'm just going to map this news right over here, and now I'm just going to map this key points to highlight. We're going to move further. I'm just going to map this spokesperson code 2. And after entering all of these details, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send as request. And now my AI agent has generated me this message content, which is the press release. So where you can see that I've successfully received this press release. And yes, this is the same press release which we are going to add right over here in my spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to move on towards next action step and click on this add action step button. And over here, I'm just going to select my action application as Google Sheets because I want to add the press release generated with the help of my AI agent in this spreadsheet once again. Alright, so that's why I've selected the action application as Google Sheets. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update a cell value. So over here, I'm just going to select it as this because it is the only particular cell value which I want to update, which is F4. Alright, so that's why I've selected update the cell value. And now I'm simply going to click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And now it is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And now over here, Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for because my data is secure with Pabbly. So I'm simply going to click on this allow right over here. And yes, with this, we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So over here, the name of my spreadsheet is press release generator. So I'm simply going to select the same. And now for the sheet, I'm simply going to select it as sheet 1. And after selecting both of this, we're going to move forward. It is asking me for the range. So it is saying enter the range of the sheet that needs to be updated here. Example, the column name plus the row index. So the range of the sheet which needs to be updated is this F and then 4. So I'm simply going to enter F4 right over here, but we can't enter F4 manually like this because what is going to happen is that right now it is F4, but maybe with the new response received it is F5, F6, F7 and so on. But you must notice that this F is constant, right? So we can keep this F as static. I can enter F as manual data, but I have to map the row index. So I'm simply going to search for row index and map it right over here. And now it is asking me for the value which I want to add in this range. So that is the response of my AI agent. Over here you can see the message content. So I'm simply going to map it. And after mapping all of these details, we are simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send as request. And yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that we have successfully added this AI generated detail into our Google Sheet. So I'm simply going to open my Google Sheets, and yes, over here you can see the press release has been added right over here automatically, that too without any manual efforts. So yes, now my team can review it and select the status right over here. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that as soon as I add a new row right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically using my AI agent, it is going to generate me the press releases, and further we are going to add that press release back again into our Google Sheets, that too without any manual efforts. All of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. Like I showed you in the real-time example in the starting of this video, all of this is going to happen in backend. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. Go try this amazing automation for your own business, and for your reference I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching, everyone. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.